Episode 15 of my vlog. I share my journey, especially right now while I'm coding this channel. I'm building my own search platform. I quit Google to start my own little company. I'm a one-person company right now, and build my own search platform from scratch. Think like a Perplexity, but better. One of the things I've been doing lately is sharing what I've built so that I can more effectively build this complicated search platform. This is what I'm what I'm showing right now. I call it Agent OS, and I did some previous videos on it as well. The idea is that it helps me coordinate different coding agents, sort of working with. The goal, again, for me, I always like to share this, is not to kind of increase my velocity, but more sort of efficiency in the sense that I don't want to go fast, but I want so that I'm not doing repetitive works and I'm being very effective, and I'm giving the agents the best opportunity so that they have access to me and I have access to them. Meaning they're doing, they basically we can get these coding agents to do some really incredible stuff. If you don't have something like I have, it becomes very tricky because everyone starts with just one coding agent and then they're like, I'll open one more and then one more, and next thing you know, they're all working in parallel. They're stepping on each other, and things like that. There are also there are various other issues, honestly, that I've discovered over the last year and a half, on working these coding agents. Like, I'll give you another example. These coding agents can over-engineer very easily. By default, they do. They can under-engineer sometimes as well. Um, so you have this code base that has no consistency. That's a problem. But Agent OS, what I've designed it for, is really so that primarily it allows these coding agents to talk to each other. That was the number one goal. Second, as soon as I built that, I'm like, okay, now let's have one agent request approval from another agent that's working on some lane, some part of the code base. And if someone else wants to touch it, that coding agent can request approval. So that was built on top of the message passing. And then I did all kinds of other things like uh, automated tooling, so that these agents can run tests more effectively, uh, GitHub Actions effect, Positano as a coding agent, and Kochi as a coding agent. These are just basically city names, and that's how I start these coding agents. I give them some locations and a bunch of other running. But I really only run two, three, maybe four at a time. Most of these are inactive. I again, my goal is not to kind of speed up things. I don't believe to have maximum agents running in parallel. I just laugh at people when they do it on YouTube. It's if your goal is to build a company over a weekend, then maybe do that. But if you're like me, you want to build something the right way, and you want to understand what the agents are doing, you have to review every single diff. You have to ask them to plan. You have to review the plan, and you have to work very, very diligently. It's like an architect, is what I say. You have to be an architect that's very in tune with all the coding agents. So what people do on the internet, maybe they get rich by building something on the weekend, but there's no fun. It's not how you definitely build software, good software. All right, so here I have Positano, and one of the things I said was that every time I do vColon, it's like, I'm talking. Please confirm our plan with Kochi. And that's what I wanted to show you. And one of the things you'll see is it uses immediately will run my Agent OS code. I'm sorry, Agent OS. It's tooling, so it's really just Python code. And let me show you the command that it runs. Agent OS inbox. Oh, that it has some pending messages, but let me show you the command. Um, Oh, it seems like it already has the approval. Interesting. But basically, the command is this, um, inbox. It's right. I'm sorry, it's right here. UV run agent OS inbox, and then agents can read that inbox. Agents can send each other messages, and this is another example right here. where agents can send acknowledgement. So when you read the message, you can send an acknowledgement. So here, um, it is sending an acknowledgement to Positano. Um, this is sort of the uh, how you can sort of request. One agent can request some kind of action from another agent. So that's just something else this agent sort of spit out. Um, so Positano requested something, but it already got the approval, as you can see. But I want to show you what Kochi sees. So here, Kochi, um, let me just highlight, because there's a bunch of text. So you don't have to read everything, but let me highlight sort of the main thing. Here you go. Positano is working something. It's something I typed. Um, oh, here you go. UV run agent OS approval. So it seems like Kochi approved. I want to show you sort of some of the inner workings. I'm trying to find without overwhelming everyone, because there's a lot of text here. Oh, I see. Positano shared the design doc. So again, this is kind of interesting that I asked Positano to ask for approval from Kochi. Positano not just sort of asked for the approval, like reached out to Kochi, but also shared the design doc. Kochi reviewed the design doc. You can see here, this is the design doc, state projection. And then it left a nice comment that, yeah, okay, so this is the message that Kochi sent in its approval to Positano. So from Kochi to Positano, approval, and then this is what it said. Um, so I approve with the following conditions: one, sequencing fence; two, authority law; vocab, blah 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 blah. Right, there are a lot of things. So these agents are now talking to each other. These agents are asking for approval. Right now, I requested, but I've seen agents sort of auto request approval as well. And then I've asked these agents every time you start, just read your messages. And then they do some very interesting coordination work that I didn't expect. So I just wanted to show you that in this video. So this is a shorter video than what I've done in the past. But here you go. Formal approval with 5 conditions. So that was kind of pretty good. That it's like almost human like that. I approve with the following conditions. And then it sent it over. And then Positano obviously got it. And Kochi reads the gate, accepts. Um, mm, uh, so Kochi also flagged that London has an in-flight vocabulary. So it said to Positano about some other session that Positano should be aware of. So that was, I think, the last thing I wanted to show you right here. Kochi flagged that London has an in-flight locale fallback clause. So there are already 2 locale vocabularies that must converge to one. This is exactly what I was talking about. It's cross-land dependency. So this is the last thing I wanted to show you, that oops. Positano, I asked Positano to get approval from Kochi. Kochi approved with 5 conditions and reminded Positano there is another lane that's working on something similar that you should be aware of. So I think that's it for today's session. The point being that it's important for these agents to talk to each other. And there are a bunch of open source tools already. I thought I wanted to build my own so that I have full control. I'm sort of improving it, and because we're using coding agents to code anyways, it's not that much effort to build something of your own. And it's been very satisfying. And now I can reliably have these multiple sessions, coding agents working in parallel. Yet I am sort of observing, and I always check the diffs in my Git diff tool to see what they're doing, and I ask them questions and ask them to stop, and I have different gates so that they don't do some crazy stuff. So yeah, you have to be very careful when you're having these multiple tabs working on something very mission critical, unless you're just putting out a demo for YouTube or like a demo for investors. That's another thing. But if you're building something that trust is a big part of it, then you have to be very careful. These coding agents are very powerful. Like Claude is very powerful, Codex is very powerful, but they out of the box don't give you all the tools to have the multiple of them running in parallel, talking to each other effectively, asking for approvals, asking, checking, making sure they're not doing duplicating work, making sure they're not creating subcomponents, submodules that are similar and not reusing, which is a common problem you'll see when you use these tools. There's not a lot of reuse. Everyone just keeps building. All these agents, they keep building. So they have so much sort of instruction text and gates just to check reuse, so that you build like how I would have built, how I would have designed. You reuse code where possible. So a whole bunch of these problems in today. And the worry I would share before closing is basically I'm putting this much effort because I want to maintain, and I'm a one person company. So it's important to me if something's wrong or something I want to enhance. If the code and design is good, it's much easier to do so. But most people are not going to be like me. In fact, in the future, most programmers are not going to be even real programmers because these tools will do all the coding and you'll be more like a program manager. You know very little about coding, in fact, maybe even nothing. And so the future I predict is that code is just going to be like spaghetti, and you almost never look at it, you almost never open it. It's sort of like Windows code or Mac OS code or your browser code. You never, I mean, you would say you had access to it, you never open it, you just use the browser, and if it's not working, you just complain. So I think the direction we're going is code's just code. There'll be a lot of duplication. It'll be very ugly. It'll be very messy code because these coding agents have a very hard time. Even as they get very smart, the code base gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And so there'll always be memory pressure. There'll always be compute pressure. GPUs will always be expensive, relatively speaking. And so, at least in the foreseeable future. And so cost will always be a factor. And so people will not be using the best of practices, the best of coding agents, the best of abilities, because people are people, they want everything fast, they want everything quick, they don't want to do a lot of effort. A typical founder that I know wants to build something over a weekend and go to investors the next week, secure $100 million funding, and build a unicorn. That's the, I mean, I'm kind of exaggerating a little bit, but that's the typical founder today. They Some founders will want to spend a month, some maybe 2 months, some 3 months, but no one I know that wants to work more than 3 months, maybe four, maybe five. Six is pushing it, like 6 months as a founder or a founding team, and you haven't gone to investors for fundraising. I mean, you're kind of dead in the waters because you run out of money and all of that. I'm on this for almost a year and a half, again, because this is also a work of sort of passion for me and experiment. And I feel I've reached a point where now going forward, my it's not so much velocity but efficacy, like my efficiency of how I'll be able to take this even further as a one company is going to be so great that it's going to be very difficult for wide programmers or like weekend founders to replicate what I'm doing. um, it's because beyond a certain code base size and beyond a certain feature size, it becomes very difficult. Doesn't matter how smart you are if you're not using coding tools effectively, using these coding agents effectively, sort of like how I'm doing with Agent OS and all these gates, etc. It's almost impossible. So like you end up meaning what I'll give you an example. A typical founder, what they'll end up doing is they'll build a new feature and call it done, but they don't realize they broke something else, and their tests may even not catch it because you can't have as many tests as and users will report, and you'll have this constant cat and mouse game. It's That's kind of the future. Messy code, no one reads the code, it's just there. It's sort of like under the surface. You never really look under the surface. You don't want to look at it. It's just working, and that's you use that for capital raising. You use that uh, really for your company software, and you never ever look below. And if it gets too messy, you discard it and build again, because it's cheap to write code now. but it's very difficult to write good code, good design patterns, good architecture. And I feel that people like me who have more patience, who understand software architecture, who has value, they'll be very slow. Like I could have released this last year, but it would not have been. I mean, because most people will compare my search app with Perplexity or Google AI mode. It would just be like, okay, it's just like Google. Good job. Tap on your back and they'll move on. But when I launch and when people will see what I've built, I don't expect they'll use it because these are habits and most people don't change search habits, etc. But it'll definitely give them something like, oh, this is something to watch, especially the early adopters. And you could only do this. I'm not defending my approach. There are a lot of flaws. I need a lot more time. And if I'm building something with this much time and then it doesn't turn out to be something what users want, I've wasted months and months of effort. So it's full of, it's a minefield. It's actually extremely risky. Like the chances of success for someone like me is like 0.0001%. It's like even if you ask AI, hey, what are my chances of like success of getting this many users and monetize and all that and it's like, yeah, it's like a dreamland. Most likely you'll never see the day of light. You probably will never see the day of light, or you'll launch it, no one will use it. If people will use it, they'll never pay for it. If people pay for it, you'll never recover your money for the time you spend. It's all just a giant waste. Is even coding agents, that's what they tell me. But there are some who go with what they really believe in, and I'm one of them. Anyway, so this was another Agent OS video. Um, it's pretty cool. Again, the foundation of Agent OS is messaging. Let me show you one last thing, maybe. Agent. What is the command again? I keep forgetting. UV run agent dash OS. There you go. Agent dash OS. UV run agent. Ah, so look at all the commands. So there's inbox, there's red, there's something called an action agent was action board. You can peek for messages, you can check for status, you can broadcast messages. There's a dashboard for me. You can act, you can see the act status. You can approve, you can see a summary of the session, and bunch of things. But messaging is the foundation. That's it for today. I'll see everyone in the next one. Thank you.